Hello, everybody, and happy June. Can you guys believe we are already, not that I want to really even say this, but we're a third the way into the month. And so it's interesting. This morning I was listening to Tony Robbins, who I listen to a lot, and he was talking about if you only had a certain amount of time, like you were going to have to quit your job in 6 months, or you were going to have to leave the country in a certain amount of time, are you doing what brings you joy? And if you're not, what can you do to change it so it does bring you joy? What do you love the most about your life or your business? And so let's just take your Mary Kay as an example. What part of Mary Kay do you enjoy? Do you enjoy checking in with customers and just saying, "Hey, I was thinking about you," or calling them on their birthday month to say, "Hey, just want to let you know you get a discount the month of your birthday," or "I was thinking about you," maybe writing a postcard. Do you love doing those one-on-ones? Do you love just facialing that woman one to one, where you have an opportunity to make her feel special and pampered? Are you more of a party girl? Are you more of a like, I love the dynamics of two to four people around a kitchen table, all talking to each other? Truthfully, when I first did, I'd say probably my first 2 to 3 years in business, I did not like doing a one-on-one because they would have to talk to me, they would ask me more questions, and I was so unsure of myself and so insecure that I really, really prefer doing people in twos and threes. Because if I have Susie and Susie invites Joanne, they're going to talk to each other more than they're going to talk to me. And they'll compliment each other. Like one will say, "Oh my gosh, Joanne, I've never seen your skin look like that." It comes differently when it comes from their peer than when it comes from me, the Mary Kay girl. And a lot of times you don't necessarily know the people. You might meet them in Target, or they might be a referral or a facial box lead or a booth event lead or whatever. So what part of your business brings you joy? So let's just rattle off really, really quick. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with this, but let's think about 8 or 9 activities you do on a regular basis. You probably reach out to customers, right? And want to take care of them. Maybe you hand out samples and get names and numbers. And if you need a better handle on getting a name and number, let's definitely talk about that. Because I did talk to a new consultant who said she handed out, she says, "I'm so excited. I handed out 9 samples in the last 2 days." I said, "Wow." I said, "How many names and numbers did you get?" She goes, "None." And I said, "Okay, we need to talk about that because otherwise you're just handing out free samples to everybody and you're not getting any business or feedback from it." So anyway, let's talk about a few things that a part of the business is meeting new people. You might like that, you might not. Doing individual appointments, one-on-ones. Okay. Doing small groups, I'd say 2 to 6 people. Doing large groups, maybe you'd rather do like one big party a week, like on Saturday, have 10 or 12 women around a pool table or a whatever. Um, Reaching out to customers, maybe giving testimonials, maybe checking in with your customers. Maybe it's doing events. Maybe you like doing themed events. Maybe you're super creative. So figure out what parts of the business you love. Now, on the flip side of the coin, let's talk about the things you may not love. Like, let's say you're not an organized person. Let's say you don't like your box of inventory comes and you like pull product out of it as you sell for a week or two or three until you eventually get around to putting your product away. So maybe it's the organizational stuff you may or may not like. You may say, "I'm really, really good at holding appointments. I just don't like to book them." Like, if I could just hire somebody to book my parties, I'd be all good. So maybe you have, I don't want to say thin skin, but maybe it's a little challenging for you to get no's. Like you tend to take it a little personally. Like somebody says, "No, I don't want a facial," or "No, I'm not interested in the product." So maybe that's something. So the reason I want to bring this to your attention is whatever, and I want you to hear my heart, whatever story you're telling yourself is a story you're telling yourself. By that, I mean, if you say to yourself, "This is hard," or "The economy is not good, nobody's buying." For everyone who tells me nobody's buying, I will literally within 24 hours get phone calls from colleague directors or consultants saying, "I cannot believe how much product I sold last night." I just talked to a consultant. She was an adoptee in my unit. She's moved out of California now. And she happened to reach out to me on Facebook and I just private messenger her. And so she picked up the phone and called me. And I said, "How are you doing?" And she goes, "Well, I had my own come to Jesus." And I said, "What's that mean?" She said, "Well, I was feeling sorry for myself. I missed our consultant the first time in years, blah, 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 whatever." And she said, "I just decided that I'm here to serve my clients. I'm here as a servant. I am here to make them all feel like they're the only customer I have. I'm here to make them feel amazing, right?" And she said, "So I just went out and just said, to every single client. I have over 200 products, and I think you're using three of them. So I'd love to give you some samples. I'd love to have you experience different products. And so she was really being more kind of a servant's heart, if that makes sense. So, and that's something she loves to do. So figure out what it is that you love, but be really, really careful what you tell yourself. Like, I can't do this, or only she, and we compare our weaknesses to someone else's strengths. Like, if you're single, you might say, well, of course she can do this. She's got a supportive husband. Or if you've got small kids, it's like, well, of course she's successful. She doesn't have any little kids to take care of. I will tell you, for everyone who says you need to be in a big town to do this, there's someone else in a little town that's making it work. For everyone who says can't find three people to join my team to get into Red Jacket or DIQ with 8 Active or whatever, there's people out there doing it. I think what the difference is we go in with a different mindset. We go in expecting a yes. Now, I'm not saying that's cocky, right? I'm not saying, you want to go in and act like you're all that in a bag of chips, but how we convey our energy is really, really key. So I had the privilege today of attending a class, and it's for directors that do over 10,000 a month, which every month we qualify for, which I'm very, very grateful. But I'm going to put my glasses on because there's a couple of quotes. You know how sometimes you hear something and you feel like it was meant just for you? So she said, this one top national said her default is gratitude. She goes, no matter if I go do a zero facial, no matter whether I sell $1,000, no matter whether I meet someone for coffee who decides maybe I don't want to join your team right now, or someone who says, oh my gosh, sign me up and I need product. So no matter where it is, are you grateful for everything? Because I will tell you, every situation that you are put in is put in to teach you something. We may not like that, but it's there to teach us something. So she was saying how her default is gratitude. She said, have faith and obedience and trust in what God is prepping you to do. And this national was saying how when she first came in and she was a brand new director, she got quiet in prayer because she said, I was really scared. I felt alone. I just felt like, oh my gosh, can I do this? And so she said, God gave me divine brilliance. She also talked about how the voice of truth. She said, God can do anything, but you have to get up, get out, and get in front of people. So that's one of the things that she was saying. That is our job. Just like it's a hairstylist job to do your hair and make you feel amazing when you get your hair done. It's a masseuse. Their job is to give you a massage, right? A server's job is to take your order and deliver quality, warm food for you to eat, right? And so she was talking a lot about how um, she says, God, what is it you want me to learn from this? So it's like she'd say she'd get to a situation where she would drive, 45 minutes and this lady seemed really excited on the phone, and then maybe her two friends didn't show up and it was just her. And you're thinking, I drove almost a whole hour just for one person. But maybe that one person needed that one-on-one time. Maybe you needed that to boost your confidence. Maybe that one person ends up becoming your number one team member, right? I mean, you don't know. You don't have a crystal ball. She also said, love on your customers. If your customers feel like they are truly appreciated, they'll never leave. They'll never leave you as their consultant, and they'll never want to leave Mary Kay products. So what's interesting is when I first heard that, and there was another director who made a comment, she says, yeah, but some of my customers only buy from me like once a year. And it's almost kind of like there's really nothing to love on them about. But there is, you guys, because that one product she buys from you, maybe it's mascara, whatever, she could be buying it on Amazon. She could be buying it from Walmart, Target, but she trusts you enough and she loves the product enough that she buys it from you. So then I guess my challenge is if you take your PCP list, I don't care if you enroll 10 people. But if you take your PCP list, right, and you put on your list maybe an S next to everybody who's bought skincare from you, or put SC for skincare. Maybe S is for supplements. Maybe they buy just vitamin C, or maybe they buy. So what if you could just work on, and I know you're going to think this sounds silly, but there's a couple nationals that have done some research on this. Linda Tupin is one of them, and she's like the research queen. And what she found is that if you have customers on, and I apologize, I have to go back and look at my notes. It's either 7 items or 9 items. I can't remember. So we'll go high. 9 items, they will never leave the product line and they will never leave you. So think about that. So let's say you sold me the repair. That is 5 items. You're only 4 items away from me literally velcroing myself to you for the rest of my life as long as I've got skin, right? You're thinking, well, okay, repair is really good anti-aging. Am I interested in something else? Now, if you say to me, well, is there anything else I could give you, Diane? Then you're like, no, no, I'm good. Just bring me my repair. But instead, you could say, I know you've been on repair for a couple months. If you could wake up tomorrow, though, and have one thing different, would you want it to be a little brighter? Would you want it to be a little smoother, a little more hydrated? And she might say, oh, hydration. Say, oh my gosh, when I drop off your product, I'm going to give you a sample of blah, blah, whatever it is. Maybe it's a new cream mask, whatever. The goal is, or you might honestly just come out and ask her, gosh, Hilda, I know you've bought the repair from me. I'm curious, what other products do you buy of other brands on a regular basis? What's in your regular routine? And she might say, oh, well, I always use body sunscreen. Because let's say she's on the repair, but she's never bought body sunscreen. So you're making a list. Hilda uses body sunscreen. What else? What else do you do? Well, Hilda, I use shower gel and body lotion. I use mascara on a daily basis. I love lipstick and lip liners. I wear those for church all the time. So you're making a list of all these other products that she buys that she's not buying from you. She's buying repair from you, right? I can't tell you. I had two people come up to the table that I just did a booth event the other day. They go, I had literally on hand on a stack of Bibles, they said to me, I didn't know Mary Kay did skincare. And I'm like, wait, what? Because a lot of people say, I didn't know you guys did makeup. These two gals had been buying Mary Kay makeup, never even knew we had skincare. I said, well, has your consultant ever offered to give you a pampering or anything? She goes, no. I said, has she ever offered you a sample of skincare? She goes, no, I just buy the CC cream and the primer. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. So this is our job, you guys. Now, I'm not saying take the entire menu of all the Mary Kay products that we sell and like this is a bad enough, but like throw up all over. Like you don't need to give them all the information, right? But you might just say to them, I'm just curious what other brands that you're buying. Okay, so let me go back to this little class here thing because there were a couple of quotes I really wanted to pass on to you. She said, when you are inspired, this is really important. When you are inspired about your business and about life, you are a people magnet. People will want to be around you and in your space. So, what inspires you? What makes you excited? Is it making money? Is it a prize that you won? Is it maybe your confidence is inspiring? It's like, man, I can't believe I just joined 6 months ago and I was super just intimidated to talk to people. And now I'm getting really good at it. Is that whatever it is that inspires you, encourages you, makes you enthusiastic? When you feel that way, you are truly a magnet for people. You guys ever approached anybody, could be a relative or a friend, that's really kind of a negative Nelly, and you almost cringe just being around them because their energy just pulls you down, right? So just be really, really careful about that. So be a magnet and watch people that are attracted to you. Now, this was also that was interesting. They said so often when we turn to God or when we pray or when we feel like things are not going right, we'll ask for help. Lord, I just need your help. I need this to happen. I need this goal to happen. And then we don't really pause and think about and listen for the answer. We just throw ourselves right into action without really thinking about what we're praying for. So one of the things that she said, as God and wait, we're created to grow, beat your best and celebrate it. So let's say you've been in business 6 months. It's like, okay, what's the most you've ever sold in a day? You might want to write these down. Right on the top of the sheet, break my record. What's the most you've sold in a day? Total gross retail sales. Let's say you sold one of the 199 specials. So write down 199. To beat it, got to sell $200. What's the most you've ever sold in a week? Let's say you had a $480 week. Go for 500. Just beat your best. What happens is when we focus on our best, we're competing with ourselves, which is healthy. So we're not competing ourselves with others, right? But what's really cool about that is if you can imagine your comfort zone being, let me just give you an analogy. So this is your comfort zone, okay? And if your comfort zone is this big, and every time you do a little bit more, it grows. And then you do a little bit more and it grows more. And you do a little bit more and it grows more. Do you kind of get that? And so what happens though is that if inactivity breeds fear, so if this is your comfort zone and you take a month, 2 months, 6 months off from holding parties, your confidence level kind of starts to shrink, doesn't it? You're kind of like, I'm not even sure what to say anymore. I don't even know how to ask for referrals. I don't know how to close. And then you're thinking, well, gosh, you know what? Maybe, maybe I'll just do virtual stuff. Maybe I don't even want to see people. And then here's your confidence. And then another month goes by and you're like, you know what? I don't even know where my starter bag is. And so what your confidence level is getting tinier and tinier and tinier. But what would it take to just get it to grow a little bit? Baby steps, a little bit more and a little bit more, right? She says, keep showing up. You'll go over, around, and through every obstacle that gets in your path if you literally tell yourself that. Stick with it and persevere. And one of the things that Tony Robbins talked about is burning the ships. He says, you get on the land, you burn all the ships. Guess what your mentality is? I'm going to make this work. He said to the guy who was interviewing him, he goes, so I have a goal to lose 12 pounds in the next, I think it was 90 days. And he goes, I'm 1,000% committed to this. And he says to the interview guy, do you think I'm going to do it? And the interview guy goes, absolutely. He goes, I am going to do it. And he says, the reason why is because I'm all in. It's non-negotiable. I'm going to make it happen. He goes, it probably isn't going to be plan A or plan B or plan C, but I will lose those 12 pounds in those 90 days. Now, I don't know medically if that's possible. I don't know how he's going to do it, but it was a mindset thing. Do you all kind of get that? Um, with June, what fun thing about June is if you share with your friends and family, anything's possible in June. You can go up to people and say, "If you love me enough, you'll let me borrow your face," right? And so it's the borrowing your face that makes people kind of go, um, they don't know what they don't know. And so it's just fun to put yourself out there and really want to make something else work. So this is another thing you can ask yourself. Who else is going to, so if you are sharing the career opportunity with somebody and they say something to you like, well, I don't know if this is really for me. I really want to start making money. I really want to do this. You can say, well, who else is going to teach you how to make this much money? They were talking about DoorDash, and I'm not here to bash on DoorDash, but that she was saying how one of her consultants used to drive for DoorDash and how she was bragging how she made, I think, profited $16 an hour. Okay, but she also had to pay for her own gas. And so she said, but with tips, I can make like averaging out $18 an hour, which is really good. So she said she would drive for 5 or 6 hours that day to pocket profit maybe $100. Now think about this. If you did a six hours, you could do two parties easy with that. And if you just did the company low average of a $300 party, that's 600, that's 300 in your pocket versus 100 from driving all over God's green earth. So you can literally do anything that you want to do if you're willing to do the work. It says, and she also closed by saying, you can't know what God is doing if you don't ask him and you wait for him to answer. And so, which I thought was really, really powerful. So the other thing I want to share with you guys is when we are lacking activity, we get inside our heads and we think, well, I don't want to be pushy, right? I mean, we can talk ourselves in and out of everything. But I will tell you, if Mary Kay, hypothetically, if they announced tomorrow that they're going to give you $10, let's say they cap it out at 30. Say, we'll give you $10 for every face that you put skincare on, and you've got 2 weeks to do it. And you're thinking, well, $10 up to 30 faces, that's $300 cash. Like, doesn't matter whether these people buy, you just have to put skincare on their face, and the company will hand you $300. How many of you would literally tomorrow have people coming over to your house? I would. I literally would have my kitchen table set up and I'd start calling friends and just saying, "Hey, before you go tomorrow, before you do anything tomorrow, swing by my house, roll out of bed, swing by my house. Let me do a really quick skincare and CC cream and you go out the door. You don't have to buy anything or do anything. I just need to practice on faces." If you became on like a rampage, there's nothing you can't do. I know each and every one of you that is watching this has had $100 day, a $500 day, maybe even $1,000 day. If you did it once, you could do it again. And even if you say to me, but Diane, that was 8 years ago, it doesn't matter. If you did it once, you can do it again, right? And so I think we get caught up. So one of the things I wanted to just close with is the whole idea of a party. Now, I have to say, and this is just my personality, is why are we not doing more parties? Now, when somebody says to me, well, you have a party, I'm thinking, honestly, clean my house, kind of, I mean, it's not messy, but kind of organize it, get people over here, make food, And it's time consuming. That's just my way of thinking at it. But I also think it would be fun. And so what I have to do is think about, so what do I want busy women to hear? My customers, a lot of them work and have little kids. So what do they need what do you need to hear? What do they need to hear to say yes? So if Melanie's got 5 kids at home and she's super, super busy, I might say, Melanie, I'm so excited. I'm doing a leadership challenge because if you guys all want to move up the career path, which I can't imagine why you wouldn't, who doesn't want to be a red jacket and move into team leader? Be a director to get the jacket, to get the buzz kits every 2 to 3 months, all the inside scoop. Oh my gosh. I would, if they took my position away today, I'd go into DIQ tomorrow and do it all over again. Seriously. So when you think about that though, what could you say to a busy woman? What would you as a busy woman need to hear to say yes? So if Julie calls me and wants me to book a party for her, what would she need to say? Would she need to say, Diane, here's the deal. How would you like a whole bunch of stuff at half off? Well, now she's got my attention. And I'd say, what's up, Julie? And say, well, I'm going to give you one item. This is just an idea. One item at half price for every girlfriend you get around your kitchen table. It doesn't matter whether they purchase, although that's great because you get more free stuff, but I'll give you a half price item for every single person you have around your kitchen table, up to 8 people. So she could get 8 items at half off. Now, you don't make any money on her, but gang, if she brings you 8 friends, you're going to have some phenomenally crazy sales. And guess what? I'm going to say to Julie, Julie, could you just tell all your friends what the 8 products are you're getting? And she's going to go, oh my God, you guys, I love the repair set. Well, now she's endorsing you. She's endorsing your product, which is like a testimonial, which is what helps buying decisions. So what if you just had a different mindset? You could call them a skincare bash, say, oh my gosh, I'm doing, a 30 face, or you could just, if you wanted to do the low average of 3 people at a party, right? And you do 6 of them, that's 18 faces, right? So if you do 10 of them, you can just say, oh my gosh, I'm in this leadership challenge to do 10 um, glow parties or 10, whatever you want to call them, but find a word or a buzz line or something that makes you excited, makes you motivated, makes you decide you want to do this. Because if you want to host them at your house, if that's easier for you, great. I used to sometimes just give my kid's dad some, say, hey, take the kids out for pizza into the pet store. Give me an hour and a half. And he'd take the kids on whatever night I was holding something at my house because I loved that. My product was there. I'd set up my kitchen table before they walked in, they got out. But maybe you don't want to do them at your house. Maybe you'd rather go. It doesn't matter. But I will tell you, I'd love for you to do an experiment. Over the next 20 days, we have a chance to break records. And it doesn't matter whether you're listening to this in June, July, August, anytime you can. What if you just started focusing on 8 faces a week? You could do one at a time. So it takes a little bit more time. You could do 2 groups of 4. You could do um, one group of 8, right? So all I'm telling you though is that anything is possible. And so I want you to um, know that it's truly, truly a mindset. But I just want to close with this thought. Last night we did a couple women out in Clyde with Grace, and 2 of them that were younger, I would say in their 20s. And the one said to me, well, I know my mom joined, and I was thinking, oh, that's great for her. But she goes, not that I wasn't impressed with the product. She says, I looked at the catalog and I go, oh, they got some cool stuff. But she said, I didn't get it. And she goes, I came tonight, and she's got beautiful skin, but she does have eczema on different parts of her face. She said, I love the satin hands and satin lips. I can't believe how great the skincare. And I use the Mary Kay skincare for the really sensitive skin on her. She said, I am so impressed. And she goes, I can't stop looking at my skin and touching my face. She says, I think I want to do this. I think I might want to do this. Now, here is somebody. And I said, can I ask what sold you on it? She goes, this, sitting around a table and doing this. She goes, I'm very much a hands-on person. I can watch videos. I can do the TikTok thing. I can do all that in Instagram. But she said, this, just seeing your help, your knowledge. And she was talking to Grace because the whole class was in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish fluently. So the whole point of it is it's the eye to eye, toe to toe, belly button to belly button type of a conversation that you have with these people that makes them feel special. So whether you want to go to them or you want them to come to you or both, I think if you guys will just get out of your own way and utilize meeting people and just have your goal of 8 faces a week. Some weeks you'll exceed it. Some weeks you won't hit it. But on an average, can you imagine the world that would change for you financially, emotionally, and every other way just by doing 8 faces a week? I know you guys can do it. Thanks for listening.